The webinar should run for about 20 minutes, and we'll be looking at help tips in the editor and updating the editor, accessing the FAQ resource, accessing helpful tutorials, and how to contact customer service. All right, let's get started. First off, let's start with help tips in the editor. So by default, the editor comes with help tips that will pop up in blue as you are working on your project. These tips are designed to guide you in the right direction when you're putting your project together. If you've made a project before, you've probably experienced these tips already. Tips can be a helpful tool if you're new to using the editor or making your first album. They can also be a pain in the butt if you do know what you're doing. So you can always turn off each tip by just ticking the box, do not show again. And that'll stop that particular tip coming up again. If you change your mind and you'd like to turn the tips back on again, you can do so by going to the main menu bar and selecting Help, and then Reset Help Tips. I'll just quickly show you how to do that in the editor. So I've got open a project here. I haven't turned off the tips, so they are working at the moment. So for example, if I want to have a look at backgrounds, as soon as I click on backgrounds, it tells me that they can, how to use them, that they can be dragged on the page. If I don't want to see, I know that now, so I don't want to see this again, I just click do not show again, and it won't show me that tip. I can then continue working, but it will still show me other tips. So if I put a photo outside the red trim line, it's going to tell me that as well. And I can just click on do not show again, and it won't show me that tip again. If I've gotten rid of all my tips and I suddenly decide I want them back again, click on the help menu and reset help tips, and it'll ask if you're sure. And I'll just reset them so they're back again. Simple as that. All right, so going back to my presentation, next we're going to make sure we have the most updated version of the download editor installed on our computers. So it's important to keep the editor updated, as it will ensure you're less likely to encounter technical issues with your project. It also means you'll have all the latest products. If you're halfway through creating a project, it's still safe to update the editor. You won't lose any of your work. However, if you haven't done an update for a very long time and you're using a version that's older than 2019, then I'd recommend finishing and ordering your project before you do the updates. So I'll quickly show you how to check if you're running the latest version of the editor, and you can see it in the bottom corner here, but I'll also show you, we'll go back to the editor and we will close my project. I won't worry about saving it. And you can see here it tells me that I'm using version 2020 R1, and the date of that version is Thursday, 27th of February 2020. So that's the latest editor version. All right, so let's continue on. Next, we're going to look at accessing the FAQ resource. There's a handy resource on the AlbumWorks website that you may not be aware of. It's our FAQ Center. We've collected all the most frequently asked questions that our customers usually ask us, so you can look them up to find an answer. So to access the FAQs, simply open your web browser and head to our website, which is albumworks.com.au, and it will be at the top of every page. You can see the FAQ link on this slide here. So say, for example, I want to know how to delete pages from my project. Using the search tool, I can type in my query. Anything like how to delete pages or just delete pages will suffice, and it will come up with a list of suggestions. You can see that one of the results is how to delete an empty page. So all you have to do is click on the link and it will open a page with instructions that you can follow. We do regular updates to the FAQ resource. So if we can see that customers are searching for specific problems or specific questions, then we'll add them to the FAQs for others to look at. So we encourage you to use the FAQs for your queries, as it helps us know what you're actually wanting to know, which also helps future AlbumWorks users because their answers will be there. Next, we have our online video tutorials and webinars. We've been putting together a library of short tutorials on some of the functions in the editor. So you can find anything from using text in the editor or changing your product type halfway through a project. All you have to do is go to our YouTube page, which you can find if you're in Google, just search for AlbumWorks YouTube. Or alternatively, you can actually go directly to www.youtube.com/AlbumWorks, and that will take you to our YouTube page. And there's a videos button here. So under the videos tab, you'll find all of our YouTube videos, including our past webinars. The icons for the tutorials are colored in blue, so the short tutorials, and our webinars are in orange. So the tutorials are very short videos, only a minute or two long, whereas our webinars are much more in-depth. So if you ever wanted to brush up on your photo book knowledge, you can browse our video library on YouTube. Lastly, if you've exhausted all of these tools and resources, or if you just find it easier to have a quick chat on the phone, you can come right to our customer service team for help. As I always mention at the end of my webinars, our customer service line is open Monday to Friday, Melbourne time, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So please don't be afraid to bother us, as sometimes a phone call is the quickest way to resolve an issue or answer a simple question. You can reach us by phone or email, or if you're troubleshooting an issue with your project on your computer, you can talk to us via live chat from our website. The chat widget is in the right-hand corner of our website, and there's always someone to talk to during business hours. All you have to do is type in your question and one of our team members will respond. All right, before we wrap up, I'm just going to take you to our website to show you where FAQs are and the chat widget. So FAQs, this is the button here, right at the top. And if I just click on FAQ, if I want to search, so sorry, you can browse. There's a whole lot of areas you can browse for. It does also have a link to all our webinars at the bottom. But if you want to search for something specific, say you want to change your project in the middle of doing it, you might want to change the size or the cover type. So you can just type in change project and do a search, and it'll come up with a whole lot of responses. And I can see, there's how do I change from HD to SG, or can I change the type or size of my album once I've started? If I click on that one, it tells me how to do that. So I've got the answer there. So there's lots of good information there. The other thing is the chat widget, which we'll test out now, and hopefully it'll work. So down at the bottom it says need help, chat now. So I just click on that and it brings up the chat, and there's Sarah who says, how can I help? And we're going to say, hi Sarah, Naomi here. I'll just enter that. And hopefully Sarah's nice and quick to reply. Oh, see, she's talking to us already. Well, she's thinking about it anyway. Anyway, we'll start writing. Oh, there you go. So I'm going to say, oh, it's my son's birthday tomorrow. If I order a book today, will I get it in time? And I think I already know the response to that, which is a very silly question, because no, there's absolutely no way that I'll get it in time. So let's see what Sarah has to say to us. Hopefully something funny. Looks like she's trying to think of something hilarious to say. Hopefully it won't take too long, otherwise we'll give up on her. Come on, Sarah. There we go. So she's given us the correct answer. No worries. But all right, so there you go. That's how you use the chat. Simple as that. Um, that's all that I've got to say. So we're going to do a quick recap. While I'm doing the recap, if you have any queries, please feel free to put them through with your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them in a moment. So just what we've talked about, make sure that you're running the most updated version of our editor so that you've got our latest products and latest updates. Use the FAQs resource on our website to get answers to your questions, because often you'll find what you need there. Don't forget you've got lots of video tutorials and webinars to help, and it's often nice to see a visual of what you're trying to do. If all else fails, or if you just really want to have a chat with us, contact customer service. We're always happy to help. All right, let me just quickly see if we have any questions before we finish up. So just bear with me for one moment. So far, there's no questions. You're probably saving them all to ask via chat or on the phone, which is fine. You know, as I always say, more than happy to help you guys out. That's what we're here for. Anyway, well, while we're waiting to see if there are any questions, I'll just put up my usual last page. I'm not going to do my usual last speech because it's all been covered pretty much in this slideshow, but in case you missed it, here's our phone number, email, live chat and webinars. So you've got all the information there. Don't forget